Hello everybody and welcome to Tarot Parlor. Today we are doing a psychic drawing interpretation. And this is a collective reading, so there is something for you here today. And as you can see, each one of these symbols, there's lots of them, each one of them has enough meaning to do a reading on their own. But we're going to comprise them and tell you what the meanings are, or I'm going to comprise them and tell you what these meanings are and what this picture means as a whole as well. And this little clamshell, what all this means for you here today. So feel free to subscribe, like the video, comment, share, all that stuff. And let's talk about these wonderful symbols that were brought to me in this psychic drawing today. Okay, so first I was thinking about sharing this giant clam. This is what I was going to base a whole tarot reading on. I pulled this card and got the wind. Okay, and then I started looking up the symbolism of this giant clam because I actually got that in a reading, a meditation that I did over the weekend that I haven't even shared. But at the top of it all is a giant clam, and this is more of what it looked like. It wasn't completely open, or it was open, but I couldn't see the pearl in there. You see what I'm saying? It was just giant. There was no pearl. And then I've got all these other crazy symbols that went with it. And yeah, I was going to interpret that today. And I thought, no, I'm just going to go ahead and do the clam because I started looking at the meaning of that. And I'm like, that's what people need to hear. They need to hear this meaning first. And this is the first symbol that came out with it to tell me that I was on the right track. A thumbs up from the Happy Face Killer. Can you believe it? Okay, so he's known as the Smiley Face Killer. Okay, I said happy face, but smiley face killer. In a hoodie with a thumbs up, okay, and his thumbs up was on the west hand. The way he was looking at me and the way this was positioned and the way everything was the west. Everything was facing west almost in this image. Very important, we'll go over that later. So this character, of course, he's associated with a serial killer and crime. Right? Serial killer, crime, and legends. But him being in a hoodie, a dark hoodie, and giving a thumbs up represents actually finding peace with a dark and frightening aspect of one's past. Or the death of innocence and being given a nod of acceptance. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me just pause right there. Now, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Buddhism, but the giant clam has wonderful spiritual meaning. So in Buddhism, it represents the seven spiritual treasures. The seven spiritual treasures. I've only recently just learned about these. And what's really cool about this clam is it kind of represents the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, so atop the whole picture was the Wheel of Fortune. And it was referred to again today. So Wheel of Fortune and good luck and humor and joy is trying to come in for you. You know, with Buddha, a lot of times he makes those changes with joy. So the wonderful thing about Buddha's luck is a lot of times his luck comes in with his smile and his generosity and just his innocence when he's in his laughter and changing everything while that's going on. When you hear his little coins rattle, I mean, some people have said, I heard Buddha's coins rattle. Then I heard a laughter in the sky, you know, like behind the clouds or something, right? And people have heard this stuff, and then they have felt that change in the air. And they've just felt a large, abundant, joyful energy. And then their life has changed instantly. It's like all obstacles are removed, and they're just able to move along, and money comes in, and, you know, I mean, like just birds bring it down from the trees. I mean, it's amazing. The kind of change of luck that comes in when Buddha is at the Wheel of Fortune. Woo! I'm just going to say how excited I am about that message because that's what this giant clam represents. Okay? And this is more of like how I saw it. As you can see, it wasn't fully open. This giant clam wasn't fully open, but it was open. And I drew it like this so you could tell that it was a clam. And it may have been missing its pearl, maybe not. But we'll get into both of those meanings too. So literally the meaning of it is that this clam represents the force behind the Wheel of Fortune. The force that moves the wheel. Because the force isn't going to move, okay? You've got the Wheel of Fortune that you've got right now, okay? At the top, you've got fortune going to paying out to the government. Government taking what I got, what I get to keep. They're coming in to take more. And then I'm getting taxed over here. And then I've got, etc., right? You've got this Wheel of Fortune that you've got right now, and it seems to be stuck. No matter how you try to dial it or tune it in, it's stuck. But when this beautiful little creature comes in, this giant clam, okay? And in real life, this clam is about 550 pounds. And its shells represent amazing change of luck. So people love to get just a little piece of that giant shell when they're able to get one out of the ocean. It's considered extremely good luck and good fortune. And so when that wheel is stuck, it's not doing anything. It's the same old, no purpose in living. Buddha, or whoever he represents in your belief, God, the Holy Spirit, right? Whoever it represents in your belief, Odin, the wheel starts turning divinely, and it turns with prosperity and abundance without any stinginess. There's no stinginess when Buddha's turning that wheel. None at all. Let me show you an example of what stinginess is, okay? This is silly. People don't understand. People don't get it. But watch this. We don't realize, we're so used to, let me get me some of these seals out of here. I keep some seals, Solomon seals, in my tea. I think it's a good place to keep them. So one thing about abundance, okay, is you keep things full, especially if you serve Buddha or you use him in your beliefs. And when you take out your spoon for tea, you wouldn't want to shake that down. Do you know why? That's considered being stingy. Sure, I've got a full teaspoon here. This might be typically what I need. It might say this is the amount of grams that I need. But if you have dipped in and pulled out this much, that's your serving at that point. Don't shake it off. Buddha likes to see you have abundance. Yeah, and any amount of shaking that down, or when you drop it, picking that up and putting it leave it until the end of your ceremony, until the end of your tea, until the end of everything. Because that abundance spilling over, that abundant serving that you, see, I just did it out of habit. I shook off the abundance. Don't do that right now. If you reach in and get something, that's your serving, folks. Okay, take it and be joyful when you're taking it. Buddha wants you to have joy when you're taking your abundance. And I'm going to say the Holy Spirit for those of you if that's what you believe in, right? And so anyway, so you take that abundance and you take it to your cup and you don't worry about what's fallen until you're all finished with your ceremony. Yeah, that's how that works. And that joy of abundance for you and and Buddha wanting you to have joy in abundance is something that this Western culture is kind of lacking. We don't always get to experience it. And one of the reasons why we don't get to experience it, think about this, like the old window tax that the Victorians did. When they taxed the windows, so people had to brick up the sunlight coming in the windows. When they got taxed for having windows, literally just having glass windows, they had to take out the window and board them up. Had to board them up or brick them up, or they would get taxed on that light coming in their window. And it was during the time when they were trying to push the sale of candles and high tax on candle wax. And that's not what Buddha's about. Buddha's about the earth being abundant, working hard and being able to reap that harvest and sharing and everybody having enough and abundance beyond enough. So when you're stuck because of all the taxers out there taxing you, okay, and you can't get your light in the window, you have to board up your beautiful glass windows. You have to brick them up. Well, Buddha's going to come in and turn that wheel for you, that wheel of fortune. And he's going to give you abundance. So right now, this clam also represents being in a state of joy. Okay? So let yourself feel joy. Let yourself be light-hearted. Buddha is a very big God, right? He's round. And you would think that he's heavy, but he's not. He's light on his feet. He could walk across that rice paper and not leave footprints. He's light on his feet. You need to be light-hearted right now and joyful about abundance. If you're not, you're going to miss it. Because Buddha's trying to put it all around you, like electricity in the air. This is the message. Like electricity in the air, okay, when lightning's about to strike and your hair standing on ends, that abundance is coming in all around you right now. It really, truly is. That is the message. And you think, it's not coming in like a king parading it across, or, it's not coming in on a barrel. It's coming in all around you because the energy of the wheel of fortune is divinely being turned by Holy Spirit. That stuck wheel is going to be turned right now, and your life is going to change. If you listen to this message, if you take heed and let yourself be abundance, take joy in it, don't do things that are seen as greed, don't do that. Let the abundance flow. Keep the abundance flowing as you're serving anything that you have. Do not let it feel greedy at all. Don't slice that bread too thin. Don't take too small of a scoop of butter. Take your abundant scoop. Take your abundant serving right now. Not gluttonous, but abundant. Okay? Participate in it. And it's going to start flowing to you. Because Buddha's looking for people that are joyful with abundance. And those are the people that he's going to direct that wheel of abundance that's turning in their life. Okay? He's directing it to you. Now, here's another thing about this clam. You think that the pearl is missing. Okay? I was like, oh my gosh, that pearl is missing. It's either not opened up enough or it opened up just enough that pearl got taken. But here's the thing. You don't have to worry about it. That pearl is your pearl of wisdom or something sacred to you. It could be the fact that maybe somebody took an intimate moment from you. Very intimate even, right? Against the law even. It could be something like that. It could be a piece of wisdom. It could be anything that is a pearl to you spiritually or physically. But the message is this. This spiritual clam is like a genie, okay? Like a fictional character, like a make-believe character. You just don't believe it exists until you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, that exists. So how could that big pearl exist, right? It does. And it exists in the Spirit. And Spirit is saying that the Holy Spirit's the one who put it there in the first place. And no matter who took it, the responsibility of the beauty of that pearl spiritually is now on, it's still yours. Because when that wheel turns, it resets and it comes back to you. So it's like the, not Justice card, it's like not the Jubilee card, kind of, what's it called? Justice, and then the Rapture card. I'll tell you what it is in a second. Let me look. Hold on. Justice, Star, Sun, Tower, Temperance, Wheel of Fortune, Strength, Chariot, Hierophant, Empress. What is it? Judgment. Judgment. Yeah, Judgment card. It's like the Judgment card. It's going to reset because it's spiritually tied to you. Divine said it's yours. So even if somebody took it, judgment's going to happen and it's going to reset and you're going to get your pearl back as if they never took it, and even better, more abundantly. That's the message of this giant pearl. So you don't have to worry about people harvesting your pearl. Do what you need to in the law, with justice, and get your justice. But don't worry about that pearl being gone, because it's not going to be gone forever. You're going to get it reset for your life, okay? So abundance is coming in. The wheel's going to be turning. The energy's all around you. Participate with it by being abundant and lighthearted and just joyful right now. Wait for this. It's coming. It's coming. That's the message. Now, wow, what about the rest of these symbols, especially since, look at this, they're all heading west. Why is everybody going west right now? Okay, so let's take a look. We've got, his thumb was on the west. We've got this crow's nest in a ship, right? See, this is where the sailor sits up here with his binoculars and looks at direction. So we've got north up here. We've got south down here. We've got east over here. We've got west over here. So this was giving me the direction of the image. And right next to it was a girl standing on the west. That's why there's a W under her name. A beautiful girl in a little bustier. I should have looked up her meaning. We'll do that before we're done. A little bustier and jeans and long hair. Pretty little young girl. She's standing on the west side of this compass. This Chronos compass. This is Spirit telling us that right now, telling me right now, that there is a compass. The reason we need to look at our compass is because this is where everybody's heading. This was an underground layer with water on this side, okay, a tunnel, and there were gondolas, and there were people just getting in them and going west. This girl dressed in this cute like disco pants suit with her long hair flowing, looking at this door back here, right? But she's heading west. So she might be looking about where she came from, or she might be looking for somebody to get in her boat with her, okay? But she is going west. I'm going to explain that in a minute. What is going west? This ninja guy, I know these guys look the same, but his is more of a ninja. I couldn't draw it any different. His is more of a ninja hat, and these were more of like a Muslim t-shirt tied on their head, okay? Like they were trying to be in disguise, or they were Muslim kind of thing. This guy is ninja, and he's in a really skinny, clean, skinny suit with a skinny tie. And he's got an old woman behind him here on the ride of his gondola with him. Maybe she's taken passenger with him. And she's got a chest, okay, with her. And this rocket ship was also a door. It just looked like a rocket ship. Okay. And what else? And then we had these two guys back here that were walking towards the gondolas. So everybody's going west. Let's see what that means. Okay, so while going east represents the rising sun, walking west can often be associated with the setting sun. There is a conclusion of a cycle, okay, going on right now. And I felt that these people were in Paris or somewhere in Europe, and they were all heading west. They're ending a cycle right now. This is about completion, closure, and resolution happening all at once. This can also represent a return of the presence of God, or a restoration of lost unity, because entering the ancient tabernacle or temple required moving west. So because of that, it can symbolize the return of the presence of God. The figures, these men figures, okay, can represent cultural pride, resilience, and identity. And them walking west might indicate that they are carrying ancestral heritage or pursuing truth into a new, potentially changing territory. They're accepting that there's a changing territory right now, and they're trying to get their foundation of truth while God is returning, while this territory is changing. It can be a spiritual shielding, these masks can. So they're trying to shield themselves spiritually, guarding their inner light as they move westward in things that are unknown or dark. It could mean that they have hidden intentions in somewhat, but I didn't get that at all. There is a guarded transition going on in this whole picture. So these can be guardians of tradition. Each one of these people can represent somebody guarding some kind of tradition. Here she is with her little treasures here. Hers could be family heritage. His could be something business, right? Something very structured. Theirs could be all spiritual. Hers could be something beauty. Okay? And self-discovery through solitude rather than public action. Each one of them is in some kind of solitude situation. So their movement towards self-discovery and truth independently, okay? Individually and on their own. There is a directional shift going on right now. That's what this woman in the pantsuit represents. Especially since she's looking at the glowing door. It represents, what did I say it was? A directional shift. A directional shift. She's looking at the door, but she's shifting directions. She's looking at this door, but she's shifting. There is a directional shift. God is coming back. Well, it could be that he's coming back, but that's not what it is. He's returning, like being in a situation where you feel like there was no God in what you were doing, no truth. And now they're looking for truth to return. That sort of thing. They're looking for a compass. And this beautiful young girl is leading the way, telling everybody to go west. Okay? And this guy's given the thumbs up that it's all good to go, that you're coming out of your darkness and you're moving forward. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Eagle eye. So we got the eagle eye probably here, right here. So the eagle eye is saying, west is the way to go. Look for truth. Let this movement happen. Not movement. Let this what? Movement of truth. This movement of truth happen. Everybody's looking for truth. Definitely find your compass and bring truth back to the situations. The woman facing west can represent sensuality and rebellion, with a guardian or figurehead role watching what you do. Okay, so a vantage point of heightened awareness. So this could be about being able to relax and be your sensual self again. You know, being rebellious against what's told you no and held you back, that bad wheel of fortune. And somebody divinely, where is it? Looking out for you and moving that wheel of fortune so you can have the advantage again. Okay? So this is about getting your advantage again. Truth, spiritual truth, finding God again, and getting that vantage point. Boom. And rocketing to it is a fast movement towards everything. And again, this is all approval. This is all a good thing. Everybody's on a right path towards new memories, new spiritual gifts, new hidden potential, bringing along truth and ancestral wisdom, and conquering a threshold of the unknown. That's what this is all about right now. And trusting the Holy Spirit that there is a new wheel of fortune, or a new turn in the wheel of fortune, that's going to move in your favor instead of the favor of the villains, where your money's going out. Instead, you're going to have money coming in. But you're going to have to trust in your truth and wait for the judgment. You're going to have to wait for that truth to restore your pearl as well. In other words, this wheel of fortune turn, the Holy Spirit moving this wheel of fortune, is going to help bring back your sacred pearl, as well as abundance and truth in your spiritual belief and God. Okay, I hope this helped. Be blessed.